Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, New Google My Business Tools to Generate Leads. My name is Michelle Letman, and I'm the content media producer here at Surefire Local. I am also joined by our webinar ninja, Steve Eastlack, who is ready and excited to help answer your questions. Speaking of those questions, you can communicate with us using the question box, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can locate that right now and let us know where you're joining us from today. We'll be sending messages and discussion questions to the group throughout the webinar, so be sure to check that out. The Surefire Local Marketing Cloud is the marketing solution that works as hard as you do. What if you could complete all of your marketing tasks from one easy-to-use platform to save time? It makes it simple to control, manage, and optimize your digital marketing, all with one secure login. With all of this, you can finally focus your marketing efforts and make getting found online a sure thing. The Surefire Local Marketing Cloud works better because it works harder. Today, one lucky attendee is going to take home a Google Home. We'll be announcing the winner at the end. If you don't happen to win, though, you don't have to go home empty-handed. Since we are Google Premier Partners, everyone here today is eligible to get a special Google package when if they fill out the poll in the middle. But I will get more to that later. Today, I am joined by our very own Jeff White, who is the VP of Client Success here at Surefire Local. So I'm sure it's going to be a great webinar. I've seen a little bit of it, so it's going to be really exciting. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Michelle. Good afternoon, everyone. And so we're going to dive into some really fun, definitely new tools that are available from Google My Business. So I'm going to walk you through that. I'm also going to share one secret, so stay tuned for that. And then, as I was preparing this presentation, I thought I had a good handle on all the things that were new, and yet there is more new functionality on the horizon that's coming from Google. So I'm going to put that under the wait, there's more section and just give you a taste of these not yet ready for you to use, but coming down the pike real soon. So before we dive in, I want to ask the audience a question, and it is, do you have a Google My Business account, and if so, do you control it? A poll question is going to pop up. Just answer yes, no, not sure. I'd like to get an idea of how many of you out there will actually be able to, at the end of this presentation, go into your Google My Business account and actually implement some of these things I'm about to show you. So, okay, fantastic. So the majority of you do. That's great. For those of you that don't, not a problem. This is still going to be very informative. And if you're not sure, we can help you there as well. So great. All right. So for those of you that have access to your Google My Business account, before you leave for the day, you can implement these. Some of them, all of them, it's that easy. And but for those of you that aren't as familiar with Google My Business, I want to start here with the basics. And it's addressing these questions. What is it? Why is it important to you? And then how do I get a Google My Business listing? So in terms of what is Google My Business, it is your business information entered into Google. And in Google's words, it is your digital anchor. It's your business's digital anchor online. So it is vital for a local business to have a Google My Business listing. And then why is it, that second question, why is it important to you as a local business? Well, as a local business, did you know that most of the searches out there have local intent? And because those searches have local intent, Google is taking notice. The majority of searches is basically Google's best customer. And with most searches having local intent, you as a local business, whether you're a storefront or a service area, you are therefore important to Google to match up those searches with a local business. Most searches are mobile. That milestone was just passed this year, and the mobile theme is going to be intertwined in this presentation, so we'll touch upon it, and I will emphasize how important mobile is, and you will leave understanding why it's important. And then it's no surprise, this is common knowledge, but most searches are on Google. So, all that in a nutshell is why you're important, why having Google My Business listing is important, and then how do you get one? So one of two ways, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I've done another presentation where I've done a deeper dive on the whole setup process. But in a nutshell, if you search for your business name and you see that it's on a search result, there will be a link that says, "Is this your business?" If you see that link, click it, go through the process that Google will present to you to claim it. That's one way. And then if you search for your business and it's not on there at all, you can create it and just go to google.com/business. And you will need a Google account. So if you're a Gmail user, or if you just create a Google account, that's all it takes. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. But what does a Google My Business listing look like on the web? So I'm going to walk you through kind of two scenarios. When people are searching, there's generally two types of searches. There's a branded search and a non-branded search. And I'm going to use my client, Hinkle Roofing, out of Birmingham, Alabama. And what I have up on screen is a branded search. And I'm going to walk you through the makeup of a Google search results page. And I've got three areas highlighted here. So when we search for Hinkle Roofing, up in the upper left, that's one area. And below it is a second area of organic or traditional organic links going out to the Hinkle Roofing website. And then over on the right is what's called the Knowledge Panel. And the Knowledge Panel is comprised mostly of your Google My Business listing information. And if you look at these three areas, you'll see that from a branded search, you could dominate the search results page between these three elements. If you're advertising on your business name, you're in that advertising area. And so let me step through this, right? So in that first upper left quadrant, Google is selling that space. And so you can just be there by virtue of the fact of paying for that right. Down below that, those organic links that I mentioned, and you and your website have earned that. So you stand up a website, you have best practices, it's got your business name on it, that's how you appear on a branded search. And then when we get over to this right side, and this knowledge panel comprised mostly of your Google My Business listing content, Google is going to give you this space, right? You're not paying for it, it's free. Google will give it to you if you follow Google's rules and guidelines. And we'll get into that a little bit. So that's essentially what we're talking about. And in this example, it's the branded search. So let's flip the search, how the search is conducted, right? From a branded search to a non-branded search. And so now let's say it's somebody searching, they don't know the business they're looking for. They're just looking generally for a roofer, and they're in the Birmingham, Alabama area. This is what that Google My Business listing will look like in a search result when searching on a service that you provide. And this is called the map pack or the 3-pack. And Google will present the first three businesses that are most relevant to the search. And so you do have to earn this space. It's not paid for today. So right now, this is a free listing. And so how do you earn a spot in this list of three? And then if you click on that More Places link, you'll see more businesses. How do you get in there? The answer is based on the quality of your listing as well as your business, the proximity of your business to the searcher. So in this screenshot example, I put in roofer Birmingham, Alabama. So it's listing Birmingham, Alabama businesses. And then relevant. How relevant are these businesses to the search term, roofer? So they're all roofers, they're all in Birmingham, and then back up to that quality aspect. What is the quality? Twofold. The quality of the information listed online of that business. So is the business name correct? Is the business address correct? Is the business phone number correct? That's an example of quality that Google is measuring you on. The other aspect of quality here is you'll see the star ratings. So quality from a review standpoint, and what do your customers think of you based on the reviews that have been submitted. So that's how you earn space, earn a listing here, and how rank is determined. So let's get into it. Let's get you three new tools. And when I say new, Google My Business basically has been pretty much the same, maybe going on a year or two, and then just within the past 6 months, boom, 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 this new functionality starts rolling out. And as I mentioned, yes, there's more. There's even more new things coming down the pipe based on news in the past day or two. So we're going to start with what are called Google Posts. And this is what a Google Post looks like. So back in that knowledge panel, in this lower right area, what we've got here is more space, more real estate that Google is giving away. So you, as a business owner, you've got control of your listing, can go in and create a Google post. It's really no different than a Facebook post. But this is what it looks like on a search results page. And whether it's on a branded search, what you're trying to do is to take up as much space on that page with your information. So right now what we've got on the Hinkle Roofing Google My Business listing is a post, and it's based on a blog article that we wrote for Hinkle Roofing. And then I'm going to switch to the admin side of Google My Business. So for those of you that do log into your Google My Business account, this is what it looks like. Once you log in there into the admin area, you'll see an option on the left-hand side. It says New, it says Google Posts, and all you're going to do is add a picture, type in your message, add a link to your website, or in this case to the blog post, choose the button type. And you'll see here in the lower right, the button types vary. Learn more, reserve, sign up, buy, get offer. So it ranges from buttons related to education, related to event, related to promotional offers. And if you ask me, this is essentially Google giving away free advertising. So to not take advantage of this is crazy. And here at Surefire, we're definitely leveraging this for all of our clients. All right. And as I mentioned, this is what it looks like once you've got it comprised with the image, your message, the link. Gives you a little preview. You'll see over on the left-hand side of the navigation where you've got posts as that section option and the little new highlight. Google saying, hey, use this. Once you create it, once you post it, Google will also report back to you on how it's doing, how many times it was viewed, and a few other metrics related to it. The second tool we're going to get into is what's called messaging. And that's essentially for those of you that can get into the admin side, a couple options below the Google Posts, and you just click on that messaging option, and over on the right, I'll walk you through how easy it is to set this up and turn it on. You just simply slide that slider to the on position. You then input the phone number that you want to receive text messages from your customers, and then I've highlighted response time, meaning this is Google telling you when you set this up, hey, I'm watching. How quickly are you getting to the prospective clients when they reach out to you over this text functionality? And then below that, you've got the option to set up a welcome message. And so right here, we've got, thanks for contacting, and this is an example for my client, Roofmasters. Thank you for contacting Roofmasters. How can we help you? And so from the user side, this is what it looks like. This functionality is, by the way, only available when people interact with your Google My Business listing on mobile, so not for desktop. And what it looks like is normally there's the call icon, directions, and website. So this message icon that I have highlighted is what is new and different for anybody who has turned on messaging from within their Google My Business panel admin area. And again, I've highlighted what Google is communicating to your prospective customer. If you want to send a message, Roofmasters will typically respond to you within a few minutes. So the idea of Google informing a prospective client of how quickly the business will respond, for you to understand this, it's very important to Google, because in a mobile world, with all these mobile searches now going on, the idea of speed is more important than ever. And as this functionality is turned on, as you start interacting with potential customers over text, that is going to be monitored, measured, and then reported back out. So people will see, hey, this business gets back to people real quickly. Yep, let me go ahead and try texting them, see if they can help me out, answer my question. And this is what it looks like on the conversation side. So this is a screenshot from my phone. Once the connection is made, somebody does click on that icon and says, I want to start a text message conversation with this business, Google will start the conversation and just say hi. So that first one is Google Business Admin saying, hey, thanks for sending a message to Roof Masters. If you need any help now, you can get some help. Then that automated message that was set up within the Google My Business area just says, hi, how can I help you today? And then the conversation starts. I respond, need a quote for a new roof, and off you go. So this is a brand new way to interact with prospective customers before they get to your website, and we'll get to that point as well. And then here's where within the Google My Business console, you get information about various ways people are interacting with your business online, whether it's visits to your website through the Knowledge Panel, whether it's the request of directions, whether it's calling you through that Knowledge Panel area on the search results page, and now this new added way to interact with you, chat, will start to show up. So let me take a water break. Let me ask Michelle to jump in and tell you about this offer.
Thanks, Jeff. So while Jeff takes a quick water break, we want to do a quick poll to see if you would like that very special Google package that I talked about in the beginning. It consists of a Google My Business ebook, Google Chromecast, and a complimentary digital marketing consultation with one of our digital marketing experts. The ebook basically takes everything that Jeff is talking about today and takes it to a whole new level. And who doesn't want a Google Chromecast? And you can talk to one of our marketing experts, and they're fantastic. They'll be able to help you out. So yeah, say yes to this package, and then we'll move on. So we'll leave it up maybe for another. Actually, I have a quick question that came through. They wanted to know, is messaging available in Canada? Doesn't show up as an option for me in Google My Business account.
Let's see, that's a good question. Google does have a tendency to roll things out slowly. If you're not seeing it available in Canada, it may be phased. So if you reach out to us and give us your contact information, yeah, we can run that answer down for you and see if it's coming soon or if there's some limitation within Canada of being able to use that functionality.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to close up the poll now, and then Jeff, we'll let you get back.
All right, so let's keep rolling through. So we've got two of these new tools down. I think you would agree they're pretty easy. I'm rounding it out with the easiest one, the appointment link. And so this is simple and straightforward. Here's what it looks like on the on that Knowledge Panel, in that it's just this additional appointments display area that I've got highlighted, and it will always look like your domain, in this case again hinkleroofing.com, but you can input whatever page on your website you want. And so from within the Google Search Console, within the Google My Business console, you've got this area within info. And what used to be there was just the ability to input your website address. And now if you go in there, you will see there's a new field for appointment URL. And here, again, you can put in whether it's your home page, just so that you appointment to display, or if there's a different page on your website, such as your Contact Us page, you can put that URL in here. And again, they've got then the options to click on the appointments link or this website button. I mentioned that, that in addition to the 3 new tools, I've got a secret that I want to share with you. And it's not so much a secret that as in Google doesn't want you to know this. It's more of something that's not really well known, and it's part of the trend in making sure that you as a business understand this trend. And here's the big reveal. And it is that your homepage is no longer your homepage. So if you think that the most important page is your homepage because that's what gets the most visits, that's the form that's filled out the most, today and increasingly into the future, your homepage is this Google My Business listing in the Knowledge Panel. And so let's step back for a moment and think about that. Why? So I've taken you through 3 tools that you can use, right, and to interact more with potential customers all through your Google My Business listing. And we take it back to the question, what does Google want? Google wants a good experience for its customers, which are searchers. And I mentioned mobile is very important today because more searches today are on mobile devices. Speed is important today, and Google has expressed this as a critical component in terms of how the mobile experience is as mobile users are interacting with businesses more and more. And then the idea of quality, and that cuts across a couple different aspects, right? So, it's the quality of that website in terms of the speed. It's the quality of that business in terms of the information or the reviews. So it's not all about keywords anymore. So if that's where your head's at about, how do I get on page 1, we're well beyond that today. And it's important to understand that. And even though we've talked about some real specific things through Google My Business to help you generate more leads, what I really want you to walk away from this presentation is understanding what Google wants and how it's evolving and why it's putting these new and free tools into the hands of local businesses so that you can generate more leads. So let me pause here and let's do a pop quiz. So here's a question for you. There are over 200 ranking factors, so things that Google looks at in order to decide who to put on page 1 of a Google search results page for a search phrase. Can anybody tell me what the top 2 to 3 are? And I'll take any guess, but I just want to see what some of your thoughts are out there. And I'll give you a minute as they start to roll in. All right.
Yep. We have a few: location, address, relevancy to search keyword, links, backlinks.
Good, good, yep. Any more?
Anchor text, quality score video.
Yeah, all pretty good answers. Now, it's kind of a trick question because nobody knows what the 200 factors are, but Google has come out and publicly said what the top 3 are. And so the top 3, it's content. Content is most important in terms of determining who to show on page 1. Makes sense. Links are still important in terms of if there are many links to your website, that is a vote of confidence, and Google looks at that. And then this third one is not well known outside our industry, but it's called RankBrain, and it's Google's artificial intelligence. So back to that comment that Google is constantly evolving and improving. It's moving into this artificial intelligence to help determine what to display on a search results page. And I wanted to pose this question to again get you thinking in the context of this presentation that it's not simply about keywords, but it's more about how people are interacting with you. And then that's where it's all about your digital footprint today and going forward, because it's not about a website. And a business's digital footprint is comprised of your website, but also your social sites and the activity that's going on there, directory lists, meaning your business information as it's presented across multiple online directories, and then reviews, and the quantity, the quality, and the consistency of those reviews. So that's a brief list of what your digital footprint is comprised of. And your Google My Business listing is in there in terms of, 1, linking to your website, the idea of social posts, and updating your Google My Business listing with content, the directory listings, so that Google My Business listing business information that you put in there isn't the same on other directories across the web. Another thing Google has announced publicly is said that it takes your Google My Business listing information and compares it to 30 other directories online, and then it says, business name the same across your Google My Business listing in those 30 directories? Is your address the same? Is your phone number the same? If it sees incorrect information, if it sees inconsistencies across those elements, your name, your address, your phone number, it's going to scratch its head and go, you know what, I'm not quite sure if this is a business I want to serve up to my customer, somebody who's searching for a roof in Birmingham, if the name is inconsistent, if the phone number is different across many different websites online, directory listings that are online. And then, again, from the review standpoint, yes, Google, you can leave a business a Google review, but in that knowledge panel, it's not just the Google reviews. Google pulls in reviews from other third-party websites, such as Facebook, such as Houzz. So your review profile across many different websites is also part of your overall digital footprint. So, you've got your your Google My Business listing, you've got your social sites, you've got your website, and there are many different things that you could do and spend your time on to help improve your overall online visibility and get your arms around and manage your overall digital footprint. So one thing that would be helpful is, what if you could do it all from one place, a single sign-on where you can manage your entire digital footprint. So that's one of the things that we're able to do with our customers through the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud, and get in there and manage your directory listings, manage that information that's within your Google My Business listing, manage those reviews that come into, as well as push review requests out. You can do it all through this one tool. So keep that in mind. And then, but let me move on and get to the section of but wait, there's more. So as I mentioned, as I'm pulling this presentation together and showing you these new functionalities from Google, I came across even more functionality that's coming out. So the first thing that's probably going to be quick on the heels of these three things that you can take home and implement now is this question and answers functionality. So another aspect of Google in your Google My Business listing and your digital footprint is this concept of crowdsourcing. And what I mean by that is Google is increasingly relying on users to provide information, content, reviews, and now questions and answers about a business. And Google's not being shy about it. Google has gamified it, and if you want to play, you can earn points, and you can attain certain levels based on the points and the number of pictures you've uploaded about a business, video about a business if you've visited them, and think restaurants as an example. But there's no reason why this can't be applied to anybody in the home improvement industry as well. And so more and more I'm starting to see this question and answers functionality in this knowledge panel. And it's the ability to pose a question and then have somebody else, not the business, answer the question. So this is one of two things to be aware of as you hopefully through this presentation get more and more involved with your Google My Business listing. And so this is, I don't think we have any yoga businesses in the audience, I'm assuming no, but this came from a business in Seattle. And generally when new things are tested and rolled out, and not widely, it starts on the West Coast where Google is based. And so this is a yoga business in the Seattle area. And this new feature and functionality that I would say is just in test mode, it is not widely rolled out, is the ability to book an appointment right from your Google My Business list. And so as I flip through these screenshots, this is what it looks like. But pulls up the schedule of the business so that a user, and ideally it's a mobile user, but this could also be available through desktop as well, picking a day and a time to have this yoga session. So eventually, this is something where people could be looking at your calendar and picking a date to schedule an estimate. So I'm just trying to keep up with Google My Business. I think I've run through a lot of information here, and hopefully it's something that you can take and implement right away because it is so easy. And at the end of the day, really, one thing to be aware of is just, okay, am I going to do this on my own, or am I going to find the right partner and the right technology and tools so that I can work harder on my business, but also align myself with marketing that is working hard for me. And that's what Surefire Social, Surefire Local can do for you in terms of helping you see more, in terms of visibility into your online activity, help you do more in terms of what we just walked through, as well as through the Surefire Local Marketing Cloud, and then get you help as you need it. As these new functionalities roll out, it's something that we're looking at every day, and I would imagine it would be hard for you to keep up with these Google My Business changes and take advantage of them, but for us, it's just another day at the office. So with that, I'll see if we've got any questions.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, before we move on to questions and Google Home, we want to do one last poll. Same thing as we did before. We want to know if you guys want a Google My Business ebook, a Google Chromecast, and a complimentary digital marketing consultation This is our Google package since we are Google Premier partners. The Google Business ebook, Google My Business ebook, covers everything that Jeff talked about today, like I mentioned earlier, and obviously Google Chromecast is awesome. I have one. I use it pretty much daily. And a complimentary digital marketing consultation. So please say yes. And we actually had a question come through, so we'll have, while you guys are answering that up, we'll have Jeff answer your question. So this is actually from Todd, and he wants to know, can the business answer the questions, or is that seeding content considered negatively?
So that question and answers example I pulled up, no. It's all outside of the Google My Business admin area, but from the user side, yeah, you could jump on there, and if a question is posed and it hasn't been answered, yep, you can get in there and answer it.
Awesome. All right, so we'll take a few more seconds here. Don't forget to say yes. If you happen to be taking a little nap, I know it's getting close to the end of the day, say yes, or you can always email us, marketing@surefirelocal.com, if you happen to miss the poll. All right, now we're going to move on to what everyone I'm sure has been waiting for, the Google Home winner. And today's winner is David Alderson. Congrats, David. Please email marketing@surefirelocal.com with your full mailing address, and we will ship that right out to you. All right, so we have some more extra time, so why don't we go through some more questions. So first question we have here is, I created a listing, but so did an intern that I no longer have access to. Are 2 listings bad?
Yes, that falls into that point that I made about consistency of business information, and it is common for Google My Business listings to have many of them. We find that when customers come on board with us, that's one of the first things we look for. 1, does it exist? And then 2, are there duplicates? And it can be anything from Google created it automatically, unbeknownst to the business owner. Somebody within the business created it, they're no longer there. Somebody set it up, and all of a sudden, there's 2. So running those down, first making sure you're aware if there's more than 1 listing, and then 2, consolidating them. And the process is a little bit challenging in that you do need to claim it and control it, but once you claim it, control it, then it's pretty straightforward to delete the duplicate or to get them merged.
Awesome. All right. So we have another question here, and that is, what is the lifetime of a Google post?
So good question. The posts themselves only last for 7 days. So it's something where if you create one, get in there and create another one to take advantage of that real estate Google's giving away for free. And then if your Google post is event related, that's how a post can last longer than those 7 days, and it will stay up until the event date.
All right. Another question is, my listing keeps asking if I have wheelchair access. Why?
So as you log into your Google My Business listing, it is becoming more and more common to see suggested updates. And that goes back to the crowdsourcing point and Google trying to be a good citizen and just kind of nailing down that question, is your business wheelchair accessible? So that's all that is, and it's just a matter of looking for that, and Google will give you just a little highlight when you log in and say, look at the suggested updates, so either say yes or no, and then it does it through a few other areas as well. Is there a restroom at your business is another example of what the common ones are, that Google's, again, just trying to get good handle on the basic information associated with the business.
All right, another question we have here is, can I use my home address for my business?
So technically, yes, but just remember, Google has Street View. So Google's driving around and taking pictures of every single business, and that's one of the pictures that's associated with your business information within that knowledge panel. So so that then will be part of the record. Now, so technically, yep, it's possible, and but just be aware of that if you're not taking customers at your home address.
All right, so we have another one that came in through Colin. He wants to know, Google also rolled out a website feature. How important is it to create it through Google My Business?
So yes, that is something new, and that is something that if you do not have a website, it's an easy way to get a web presence. Think of it as a hand up in terms of Google saying, you don't have a website, use this functionality. If you already have a website, no, do not do it, do not use it, it's not necessary. Focus on your current website.
All right, and then we have one last question here, unless other people decide to throw in more, but can I use a virtual address?
So yes, virtual addresses are usable. Google has public and specific guidelines on your various aspects of your business listing, and it does address the use of virtual addresses, and that it's a legitimate way or a legitimate service to use for your business. But what it wants is to have the virtual address staffed. So in other words, can you receive mail there? Is there somebody physically there during your stated business hours where if somebody were to come to that address, that they would recognize your business name and be able to receive people? And what I would say, what I would contrast to that is you make sure you're using a robust virtual address service that has those level of services. It's not just a mailbox.
All right, that's good to know. So those are all the questions we have for today. Thank you, Jeff, again for joining us, and thank you to all of our attendees. Please be sure to join us for more upcoming webinars in the future. For details on that, you can check out surefirelocal.com. We have a link at the top of our homepage for all of our webinars. If you happen to be napping during our polls, I'll mention one last time that we are offering a Google package that is a Google My Business ebook, Google Chromecast, and a complimentary digital consultation with one of our marketing experts. So if you didn't do the poll, you can just email us at marketing@surefirelocal.com if you're interested. And also, please take a minute to fill out the survey at the end and let us know how we did today and what topics you would like to hear about in the future. Thanks again, and have a lovely afternoon.